Hey everybody, it's Jasmine, your brow expert. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today's gonna be all about uneven eyebrows. I suppose I'll always do an uneven eyebrow, and I feel like I've become an expert when it comes to uneven eyebrows. Why is that? Because I think almost every one of us have uneven eyebrows, partly because we have more hair on one side than the other. Our brow bone is different from one side to the other. So there's really no one, I think, in this world that has even eyebrows. I've been shaping eyebrows for 25 years at the Anastasia Beverly Hills Salon, and some of you guys come by and gotten your brows shaped. Thank you so much for trusting me with the eyebrows. So yeah, I have seen a lot of eyebrows, and I am here to tell you that I've never seen anyone with perfectly symmetrical eyebrows. It's just not going to happen. But yes, some are just more apparent than others, and it's all about just a little adjustment here and there. If you're trying to make them perfectly even, that just means you're going to walk around stoic without any kind of expression. That's not going to happen, right? And so we want to make a little adjustment just to get a little bit more relatable, but if you try to make it too even, the face starts looking a little funny anyway. So it's all about making creating some really good eyebrows to make your face look better, right? So it goes hand in hand. It's not about just getting great eyebrows, and who cares about the face, right? You got to just make sure it makes sense for you, right? That's the most important thing. That's why I've just invested my time in the brow shaping world and helping you guys out there to get your best brow. So yeah, and you could clearly see my brows are very uneven. If you guys have been subscribing, or you subscribe, you know that I have an old brow tattoo, which by the way, I have a previous video where I go more into that. So definitely check that out if you guys are curious about the tattoo, brow tattoo that is. So I had to put a little bit of concealer. So that's why my brow color is going to come off really different. But I always use myself as a model as well. So that way you guys can see how I'm holding the tools. Maybe that's something that you may need to learn today. So if you don't feel like you relate with this person, definitely pass this along with someone that is struggling with uneven eyebrows. But I promise you, no matter what, you're going to get something out of it, whether you feel like you have not that much of an uneven eyebrow. So without further ado, let's bring her on in. So we're going to give her a brow lift along with it matching a little bit. Now, clearly her brows are very different from one side to the other. Now, a good part of it is because her brow bone and her size of her eye, you can tell her fuller brow, she's got a wider, bigger side of her eye, and the other side is just the eyes are just a little bit smaller. So that's contributing to the fact that they're uneven as well. And so, and you know, most of us, not all of us, most of us have hair that lays down up in the front and the other hair just goes straight up. That right there makes it uneven. But you know what? Don't treat it too much. Don't make the one that's standing up too short, because when you chop that off too short, that looks funny. So I'm just going to add a little bit of color right up in the front here. This is how low it is, right? This is how curved and round it is compared to the other side. Now that side, I'm going to try to round off a little bit with some color, and the other side that's rounded, we're going to straighten that out a little bit. So it's all about little adjustments, remember. And down below there, she's got a hook hair going all the way low there. So she doesn't need that piece of hair down there. If I was shaping her eyebrows, if I am shaping her eyebrows, once I shape her eyebrows, you'll notice that I get rid of some of that hair below. So, and I'm just drawing the ends. I'm not drawing her ends purposefully low. You just can't tell as much, but she actually has a lot of hair growing all the way down below there. So it's giving the illusion that her eyes are just going straight down, like in this really curved look there. So, and I'm going to show you how to correct that. And you don't even have to tweeze the hairs if you don't want to, but always have like a little bit of always have a highlighter in hand. You could just test it out, just rub over that end just to see if you need that or not. And I'm going to show you in just a second how high to go, because there is a little trick to that if you guys haven't seen me do it already. Okay, so yeah, let me do that right now because I still have the other side, because I'm going to show you guys both the eyebrows here. So as I'm showing you on her, now I'm going just about here. Okay, how do I know when to stop? Because I've been doing my eyebrows forever, right? But how do you know where to stop, right? So grab like a chopstick or a stick, and you see the tip of your ear right here? The tip of your ear, let me get a longer stick here. The tip of the ear, lay it at the tip of your ear, and then go straight across. Make sure that the brush is straight across. Look at me right here, head on. Pretty good, right? Then you know that's about as high as you want to go. You don't want to go too high because then that it doesn't balance with your face. So that's very, very important. So there's your tip. Okay, so, and hers, trust me, it's at the right spot now. But in her case, obviously, I'm going to wax that part off. If you feel like you don't need that after doing those little measurements and putting a little concealer over it, then definitely tweeze that, because you still have this part where there's some ends there, right? You still have hair there, so it's not like you're taking it all off. And the other side, so they both have that, right? Especially this side. I say especially because this side, remember, the front's laying down and the whole eyebrow is just kind of going down. So you really see that curve going down low there. So that's the other area we're going to fix. Now, the good side also has for her a little dip right here. There's a lot of things going on this eyebrow. She has a dip right here. We're going to fill that out. Now, most of us do, actually. Some of us may not have that problem, but most of us have eyebrows that are missing right at that area right here where your arch and your end is, in the middle of that. It like kind of dips low, or you don't have a ton of hair. Just do a little, like a little circular C. Build it out and see where that takes you. See if you like that. And that may even be something that you just need. Everything else you don't need, but you needed that. So maybe that is something why you're here. Okay, so just bring that out and see if you need that, because that makes such a big difference, even on her good eyebrow. So after it's been waxed and shaped, it has much more of an easier look to fill in. It's a little bit more even. Now, that dip down here, I did wax that off. So the highlighter is really important in this case. Her eyes are kind of deeper set. So if I don't put something light underneath the eyebrows, it's going to cave in. Like this way, it's brightened up. So that's really, really important. If you have something like this, even a concealer can work. Just put it right underneath your eyebrows. If you do this first, it actually helps you in filling in your eyebrows, because it adds like a light stencil, a highlighter, if you will. And of course, I always use the Brush 18 because it just makes everything so good. And so it's so good, meaning just it evens everything out, just polishes it up, just perfect, right? And I'm just gonna leave that end there. We'll kick that up later. So I'm gonna use a brow definer, a medium brown on her. On me, I'm gonna use Granite. I could also use ash. I could use Ash Brown and Brow Wiz and brow definer, but in this case, we're gonna use brow definer. I'll tell you why in just a second. Now I'm using the stick to see how high I should go, because I want it to be high like that, because you don't want to chop this part off. So you hold it up straight across, then you kind of gauge where you can go, right? Typically, I use powder because I have so much concealer on the eyebrows covering that old tattoo. I'm going to try to use the pencil. Just keep in mind that the colors is going to be off on me. So I just want you to see how I'm doing this. I'm going to attempt to also use my left hand. I'm right-handed, but I will try my left hand here. So you see that mark? You see it's more leveled like with the other side. Now that's just something that you want to try to get up to. Doesn't mean you have to go that high, okay? So that little mark you can erase later. See that motion I'm going? I'm going like in a circular motion. I'm not going straight across and up. Now the brow definer, if I lay it down this way, it just allows me to just add a little bit of color. And I'm going just kind of I'm kind of going in the circular motion. That's the only thing I could think of saying. But now I'm using an angle. I'm not going head on with the definer. I'm not poking my eyebrow. I'm just laying it down and the reason why I'm doing this is I don't want it solid. I'm just wanting a little bit of a background here. But on me, it's not going to be a background. On her, it's going to be a bit of a background. And I'm using the spoolie brush to just kind of tone it down here. So, and if you angle it, not head on again, but just a little diagonal, and you do this, you can get a little bit of hair strokes. Might be thicker, but again, it's not so much where you can see the hair stroke more than giving it more of a light application. It's about that light background, really. So that's why I'm showing you that up in the front, it's this way. I'm not going back and forth like this. Because if you do that, it's just going to be too dark and solid, unlike mine. So, and then look at this. I'm laying the pencil down this way now. Again, always know that it's either up or sideways, but it's never head on. Okay, so that's why I like the definer, because there's a few different ways you can use this pencil. So here, I'm just laying it down and I'm going straight across, especially for me, because straight brows look best on me. because I have flat eyelids. I'm Asian, right? So flat eyelids. If you have more of a contour, three-dimensional shape, definitely you want to go more circular and not so straight across. So again, here I'm laying it down now. Why am I laying it down? Because you get more of a coverage, and it's with light pressure as opposed to this way, because then you get these dark jagged lines. You don't want that. Okay, up here, now notice how the outside, it's very, she's missing that area too. So by taking the outside here, remember, this is the lazy side. You really want to lay it up and out. So by just taking this out, I'm just showing you guys this. It's lifting me up. And I'm going up here because this is the lazy side. So when it's lazy, you want to go up. You want to stand that person up. You want to stand this brow up. But not much, just a little bit, you guys. You don't need to go that much. It's about a little bit, not too much. And try this technique out if you haven't already and see if it worked out for you. It's just makeup. You can always erase it, right? So yeah, I'm taking it in and taking it out and you guys notice I'm going back and forth with the spoolie brush. Yeah, because you want to just go back and forth and not focus so much in one area, then you forget everything else. Okay, so just kind of taking it in here. And again, it's just all back out there. Now, this side, I'm going back on, notice I'm going back and forth. It's always easier if you get more even that way, as opposed to just focusing all on one eyebrow and then you go on the other. Then you got to really fix the unevenness more so. So here, I'm just going purposefully underneath, a little bit lower, but by a hair. Like barely that much, because I want it to be a tiny bit, I want to bring it down because this just naturally goes up. And here I'm just missing that little dip, but I already showed you guys in the beginning how to take that out, right? So you just curve it out. You curve it out and you lower the front. This is the one that's just naturally high. So we're just kind of like evening out a tiny bit. So here we're just going to clean that up because that end is now bothering me. But I just really want you guys to focus on the one that's higher, this brow higher, which is why I froze that. You want to go lower. Okay, so that's just really important to remember. So every time you see you have a higher brow, you want to go lower. You got the lower brow, you want to go higher. So you're again just leveling that out a little bit. Okay, so this side is much improved, right? Even though the color is really dark and solid. So it's much improved. It's much higher. And it's out. So that is what I am looking for. So much better, right? And look at that. So much better on her. So at this point, you always want to look at yourself just in a full length mirror and see, what do I need to adjust? Try not to go too much back and forth and, oh, you got to fix here, you got to fix that. It could be a never ending adjustment, because uneven eyebrows, always accept that it's going to be a little uneven, then you're already doing a good job. Trying to make it too even, then that's just becomes not so normal. The clear brow gel is also very important in her case because she's got very fine hair. The gel, as you can see right now, you can see the hairs. So the eyebrows is not so dark. I didn't make it dark. I wanted just very faint and light. The highlighter going around the eyebrow really does help, but the brow gel really shows off the hair. So you see eyebrows, a little bit of color. That's important. You don't see just color on eyebrows. You see hair with a color background. Did you remember what it looked like before? Look at that before and after. Pretty good, right? I just love this before and after. And by the way, who doesn't love before and afters? Her especially was a great before and after because of just how uneven it was before. Her eyes, it doesn't look so different from the other as well. Did you notice that? It's not so, oh, her eyes are so big on that other side, her eyes are real tiny on the other. It actually looks like it is about the same size. So that's the beauty of makeup as well, just creating that illusion. So with a little help of me in waxing and shaping the eyebrows, and then your practice, you can get your best brow. But if you can't get to me, it's really about just trying to tweak here and there, and definitely utilize the highlighter, because you guys, you can really just hide, conceal, highlight a lot of things to see what kind of brow you want without committing and taking off too much hair. So I hope you got some tips out of this. Please subscribe. Let me know that you did learn something here today, and share this with anyone that you know can benefit from these tips. Thank you for your time, and I will see you guys right back here. Thank you.